morning, I'm Tyler Danberg. Top-ranked Ohio State travels to Wisconsin Saturday at 3:30. Hear Buckeye Roundtable up next on The Fan. CBS Sports named Buckeyes linebacker Arvell Reese and safety Caleb Downs to its midseason All-American team on Monday. Tonight, the MLB playoffs continue with Game 2 of the NLCS as the Dodgers visit the Brewers at 8:08. Yoshinobu Yamamoto starts for LA against Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. ALCS resumes Wednesday at 8:08 from Seattle as the Mariners lead the Blue Jays 2-0. Shane Bieber will start for the Jays against George Kirby for the M's. NBA Cavaliers host the Pistons at 7 in their final preseason game. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Learfield. This is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mossick.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable show as Ohio State takes care of Illinois and gets set to go back on the road to Wisconsin this week. 2 hours of Buckeye football and college football talk coming your way, and there is plenty to get into tonight. Joined as always by former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro, Jim Lachey. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, 6-0, bowl eligible.
Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes. Eligible as well, Paul Keels.
If it was any better, I'd be you, Skip.
Coach Ryan Day will join us this hour. 34-16, Ohio State with the win at Illinois. Besides the win, the biggest takeaway for Ohio State from this game might be what?
The fact that they were able to create turnovers, which they hadn't done a lot of to that point. They were able to take advantage of getting those turnovers and really kind of take away any kind of momentum that a home crowd, maybe one of the best crowds we've ever seen in Champaign, that they could have given the Illini.
Takeaways defense. Paul hit it on the head with the turnovers. But to see, Caleb Downs, make all the plays he did, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, that's your three leaders on defense. Those guys have to play great when you go on the road. Our defense played great, and our three of the best players on our defense stood up and had a great game.
You look at the numbers, and they're kind of skewed because of short fields that Ohio State had. For example, Illinois outgained Ohio State in total offense, and they did some things against Ohio State that other teams have been unable to do, most notably red zone success. I know teams never want to give anything up, but are some things like that, maybe giving something up in the red zone finally, something just to keep everybody focused moving forward?
It certainly does. And, I think you have to consider, too, Skip, the talent that Illinois has. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to mistake them for, the 85 Bears, but certainly they're more talented than some of the folks, and in some areas more talented than some of the other folks that Ohio State has played. And you're right, that short field does skew some of the offensive numbers.
I thought that red zone touchdown that they had, the rushing touchdown, great design, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they pitched it, and the guy was wide open to get in the end zone. I thought that was great. And then they had the longer pass that they were able to get in the end zone there. Of course, we stopped them on their two-point conversion, but that's 16 points. You got 34 on the other side. For the most part, it was 20-0 and 20-3 at half. Then they went down and scored. Then Ohio State had a 34-10 lead. They were very comfortable throughout the course of that game.
Brett Bielema, I mentioned after the game that he wished they had gone up-tempo against Ohio State earlier in the game because, according to him, Ohio State couldn't stop them. With that, we've seen adjustments from Ohio State's defense. Might that have made a difference at all? I mean, as well as Ohio State's made adjustments this year.
It makes you wonder because it was the best operation that Illinois had when they went to the up-tempo thing. So you never know for sure. But the other question is, can a team, against this defense, can they do that for a longer period of time?
Well, we talked about it during the broadcast. Mm-hmm. Remember when they were going tempo? I'm like, this is working for them. Maybe they ought to continue this. So, great minds think alike. But, no, I think that's something, obviously, you got to work on, have a package for, understand the mistakes that were made when they did go tempo, and make sure you get those things get corrected because if anybody sees a glimmer of hope against a defense, they're going to try to use that and expose it.
As much success that they had in that hurry-up, Ohio State's still really good defensively on third down, 4 of 14, 3 of 5 on fourth down, still where they want to be in that area.
Oh, exactly. I mean, coming into the game, they're 22% allowing their opponents on third downs, and that didn't really change. On the other hand, Ohio State's offense is converting on third downs, which, like at 50-some%. So that's good. But no, our defense, they're going to make some plays. Guys are on scholarship too. You can't shut out everybody, hold everybody to, 5 points and under. Give Illinois credit. They were able to get 16 points against this team, but still at the end of the day, they lost by 18.
Remember where he lives, doesn't he? What city he lives in? They want more. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Five's too much.
Yeah.
Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch it live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people at your home for an away game this season, plus a behind-the-scenes tour of Ohio Stadium for 10. The Giant Eagle Tailgates and Tour Sweepstakes is presented by Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie Treats, and Coca-Cola. Register today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/tailgates for your chance to win. Saturday, Ohio State is at Wisconsin. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 2 p.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans. Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. Home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
Let's try to squeeze in here real quickly. Julian Sayin, Ohio State quarterback. Let's go there. 19 of 27, 166, 2 touchdowns. Not his most flashy game statistically, but obviously still enough to get the job done. What things are he continuing to show you at the quarterback position?
Take care of the ball, taking care of the ball, and taking care of the ball, and still completing passes at a high percentage and getting the ball around to everybody else.
Yeah, his accuracy's been really good. 78% completion right now, number one in the country. He's thrown 15 touchdowns. He's done a good job the last couple of weeks, taking care of the football, not having those turnovers. He's got 3 interceptions for the year. I think everybody can live with that. For a first-year starter, 6 games in, he's been perfect. I think the last couple of weeks he's shown a little bit more mobility in the pocket, moving around. We saw him when we played Washington run a little bit. We'll see if that's going to continue as the plan goes. But so far, so good for Julian.
Receiving numbers, again, not as high, again, skewed because of the field position, maybe a little bit, but still effective as far as spreading the ball out. Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, again, Max Clare at tight end, still pretty consistent as far as what you're receiving from all of them?
Absolutely. And remember, there was the touchdown he threw to Bo Jackson, a little screen pass that went out the left side. So getting the ball around and kind of, the old cliche, take what the defense gives you. And, if they're going to, Ryan Day even talked about it in his press conference today, if they're going to, play you a certain way, why do you want to beat your head agaga the wall and try and throw them deep when you don't need to?
Yeah, you just got to kind of nickel and dime them down the field, and I think that's what Ohio State did. And, when you turn on that the Minnesota film, that you watch that game, Carnell Tate had 3 40-plus plays, so they weren't going to run that defense. They were going to try to keep everything in front of them and make you pick your way down the field, and Ohio State read that, understood what they're trying to do, and was able to say, okay, we can change our game plan. We're still going to move it down the field, and they were able to. And then, as you mentioned, the short fields. I think the average starting was 45-yard line. So when you're starting drives that far, you don't have to go, 55 yards to get in the end zone. It's not too bad.
All right, next, turnovers. You touched on it the first segment, guys, but always important. We talked all week about how opportunistic Illinois had been. How good was it to see Ohio State's defense force something on Illinois that they hadn't been doing, and that's coughing up the football?
That was the game plan. You wanted to come up and make some turnovers. They didn't have an interception. They did, off a tip pass. Jermaine Matthews gets his hand in there, tips it up in the air. Peyton Pierce, gets a nice little return off that thing. And then the 2 forced fumbles. Jermaine Matthews was involved with one of those. And then Caden McDonald just got mad, so I'm taking a football from you. And he ended up with it in his hands. Great plays there. Just being opportunistic, against the team, trying to do it. Now, to be complimentary, your offense has to do something when they get to turnovers, and they did. That led to 3 touchdowns, 21 points for Ohio State. So that's working. Offense is helping the defense helping the offense. Boom, we put it in the end zone, and the team wins.
Oh, it doesn't go down as a turnover, but when's the last time you saw a punter catch a snap with a knee on the ground?
I thought about that afterwards. I know that we've seen that before, but it is really rare. But, you went down to his knee to get a low snap. Who do you blame, the punter or the snapper? But, another one of those situations that, no, they were going to get the ball by the punt, but it is almost like a turnover in plus territory, Skip.
What were we talking about, Paul? That their snapper, their long.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. So, Skip, I forgot about that. So they used a different snapper for punts and for their placement kicks. But the punt snapper, I believe it was the punt snapper, on the look, did not play. He wasn't dressed in that game.
That was Hansen, I believe.
So that might have been part of it.
Yeah, so I think they used their short snapper for the long snap for the punt.
Yeah, it was the punt short. Their normal punt snapper was not playing.
All right. Still can't kneel down with the ball.
No, you cannot.
It's going to go down.
Only at Mass.
Rate the opponent. How do you see Illinois faring the rest of the way?
I think Illinois is still a good football team. Now, let's keep in mind they're playing without their best defensive back, who may come back for a bowl game. Jim talked about when Caden McDonald got that fumble. Khalil Valentine, who was coming off a very good game, did not come back and play. He was injured on that play. So some key pieces being out. They're still a good football team. 2 losses in the conference at this point. It's they need chaos to be able to have a shot at getting the conference championship game. Probably has cost them an opportunity to get in the college football play, but a good team.
I think Luke Altmaier is one of the better quarterbacks, in the Big Ten right now. I think he handles it well. Obviously he started a few games. He's got that underneath his belt. He's a mature guy. I thought he moved the ball around. And again, he had a tip pass that led to an interception, but for the most part all year he's been taking care of the football. I think the running backs as a group are okay. Not great individually, but as a group I think they use those guys well. Defensively, there's still a couple holes there, especially as Paul mentioned with the injury in the secondary that they have. But I thought their linebackers ran around and, they got some big dudes up front that you got to move out of there. And, Ohio State ran just 2.9 yards per attempt. That's not going to get it done on most days.
All right, next, Wisconsin this week. The Badgers really struggled Saturday, getting shut out by Iowa. We'll get into it more next segment. But, we asked this question a lot, I guess, as far as the key for Ohio State staying focused, going to play a team that's obviously coming off a really poor performance.
A few of them. To give them a shot early, especially going up there to the Camp Randall Sioux. We know what that place is like. Take that crowd out of it. That crowd has been angry because of what's going on with the program. But turn the crowd against the home team, take away their pride early on, kind of like what Iowa did Saturday.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not a night game, right? I mean, just to get a chance.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Play in the afternoon, 3:30, 2:30 Central. I think they're, like Paul said, they're struggling. Iowa beat them last year 42-10, so Coach Fickle had them doing 42 push-ups the whole offseason, every chance. Give me 42, give me 42, give me 42. And what did that lead to? A 37-0. So they actually won by 5 more points than they did last year. Something's not connecting between the staff and the players, the guys that they have, recruiting, whatever it is. It's not all working right now for Wisconsin, and they've lost 4 straight.
Yeah, regardless, you have to think it's similar to their game in Ann Arbor that when they took an early lead, that Wisconsin's going to come out and give Ohio State their best.
You have to operate that way, Skip, expecting you're going to see the best. And, the number 1 team in the country, that gets a lot of attention.
Coming up, we'll break down this past weekend in the Big Ten, including one surprise that led to a coaching change. That is next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
True North convenience stores are your coffee and fountain champions. Fuel up your game day with True Rewards. Buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks and get your 7th free. Whether you're heading to a game or watching from home, grab a True Brew coffee or an ice-cold True Oasis fountain drink to keep you going all 4 quarters. Find True Rewards in your app store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeye coach Ryan Day coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
21-16 Penn State. Stone gets the snap. Hands to Kamalafe. Bursts away at the 5. He's in. Touchdown. Caleb Kamalafe kept his legs moving. They thought they had stopped him. He reaches the end zone, and the Wildcats go back in front with 4:51 to go.
Dave Ennett's on Learfield. Northwestern hands Penn State their third consecutive loss, winning 22-21, and results in some big news out of State College.
Well, they decided to dismiss head coach James Franklin. And, you know, this was one of those, many people compared it to what Ohio State was in last year, a position to put the pieces in place to win it all. And it was easy to think why. Mm-hmm. Folks, Penn State could be a national championship contender this year, but they've had injuries even before Drew Aller got hurt, and now he's out for the rest of the season. You know, and this is just something that, Skip, as we were talking about before we came on the air, there's a lot of programs that would like to be where Penn State is. They just seemingly can't get over the hump against some of the big teams. And now, with that injury and with the angst that the fans are feeling, and we know that that's always been part of this, it was somewhat surprising that this happened, but it's just kind of the state of college football right now.
Well, what a crazy 3 weeks it's been for Penn State football. I mean, they go from, scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter against Oregon to get that thing to overtime. It looks like they're going to win it. I mean, we're out in Seattle watching that thing, and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a great win for Penn State. And then they have the interception and lose. And then they go out to UCLA. Yeah, we're going to take care of that. They're over. Boom, it didn't happen. They lose that game, 5-point game at the end. They and then they come into Northwestern. They're at home. All right, we're going to win this, in another close ball game. So they've had 3 tough ball games, lost their starting quarterback, and now they've lost their head coach.
Tough to see. I mean, how quickly this spiraled in just like 17 days.
Well, and how many times do you hear coaches say, don't let one loss turn into more, and that's what's happened.
All right, one of the more marquee games Saturday had Indiana playing at Oregon.
Fernando takes the snap. They pressure him. The throw to the end zone. Touchdown! EJ! Wow, what a play. And it was actually Surratt who made the catch. But I'm telling you what now. That was some throw by Fernando Mendoza.
Don Fisher on Learfield. If anybody still has any doubts about Indiana, I don't know what to say to them. They win at Oregon 30-20.
And Mendoza threw a key pick 6 late in the game, but doesn't let that affect everything, and they're able to come out and defensively. They get Dante Moore turning the football over. But I agree with you, Skip. This is not a flash in the pan what Indiana's done.
No, it's been incredible. We saw it last year. They were tough out. Ohio State used their crowd noise to get that victory, at home against Indiana. They played Notre Dame tough, and took them all the way. It was a tough game. And then, obviously Indiana or Notre Dame ended up in the finals against Ohio State, so we know how that was, and that's the only 2 games that they've lost. They've been on a good run, and we know how hard it is in Autzen to win, and you got to give them credit for finding a way to get it done, and their defense has been lights out. They had another 6 sacks against the Ducks. And, you know, Dante Moore's a pretty agile quarterback. So whatever they're doing defensively, it's working right now.
Another game many were interested in had USC hosting Michigan.
Miller has been the go-to guy tonight in the backfield with the injuries to Jordan and Sanders. And it's Miller again, left side. He'll get down to the 10. He'll get into the end zone. King Miller with a touchdown, USC. And that was the King Miller hour. Holy moly. 15 yards, and the Trojans are on the board again, leading 20-7. How do you do?
Pete Arbogast, USC Radio. Trojans really dominated up front, beating Michigan 31-13.
You know, and the fact that Michigan had trouble running the football, I know that, you know, their lead tailback had injuries, Jim said. But, you know, the one thing Michigan had done well to date was run the football, and they were not able to do it against USC, who still, I think there's still some questions about the Trojans' defense.
USC lost their back, too. And, you know, Michigan lost theirs. But USC, I think, ended up getting fined because they had a player listed as out on their injury list.
He started in street clothes.
Yeah. And then,
oh, no.
They suited him up, and he played there in the second half. I don't think it was King Miller.
No.
It was. But, yeah, the Big Ten.
I think he scored the final touchdown.
The Big Ten fined him $5,000. We'll do that every week, right? I mean, $5,000.
That's lunch in Chicago.
Right.
A team that kind of quietly on the rise is Nebraska. Saturday, they were at Maryland.
Snap to Rayola, 3 in the pattern. Tunnel screen over the middle. It's Hunter to the 45 as a block. Cross midfield. It's Hunter to the 40. 4 left sideline, 20, 15, 10. And is he in? He is! Touchdown, Huskers!
Kyle Crook's Nebraska Network fourth quarter comeback for the Huskers. They win at Maryland 34-31.
Yeah, but it was a little dangerous because as good as Raiola was, he also turned the football over, too, that kept Maryland in the football game. And, you know, just looking at a little bit of those highlights on that Malik Washington, that Maryland quarterback as a freshman, he's going to be somebody to be reckoned with. But, again, is this the same old Maryland story again?
Yeah, they're good in the non-conference, and all of a sudden the Big Ten happens, you know, and they're not so good. Now they're 1-2 in the Big Ten conference. You know, Raiola, you mentioned 3 interceptions, but he did have 4 touchdowns, so it's kind of hit or miss. But then Emmett Johnson ran for 176 yards in that game. You know, they're running the ball very well. They had 193 total against Maryland.
He kept both teams in it, didn't he?
Dana Horgeson is probably the best hire that Matt Rule picked up because I think he's changed that offense for the good.
They don't have much in the back end as far as their schedule. So, I mean, Nebraska can get on a run here. It's just don't forget about them moving forward. To Madison, where we're heading this week, where Wisconsin hosted Iowa.
He stays in the game. They run the draw to him. Big hole over the middle. He's got room. 20, 15, 10, 5, goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown! Xavier Williams.
Gary Dolphin on Learfield. Hawkeyes took control early here, shut out Wisconsin 37-0.
Well, and early it was the 2 turnovers that Simmons, the quarterback, the third stringer who's making his second straight start. You know, it's somebody told me this morning they don't have a third stringer like Cardale Jones. But, you know, Iowa certainly was able to get an early lead, and we know that how Iowa plays. That makes it easy for them to run their offense the way they like to. But this is uncharted territory at Wisconsin.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 4 straight losses. You know, again, that we talked about how Iowa, you know, they wanted to be competitive against them. They weren't. Hunter Simmons just did not play well. 8 of 21, 82 yards, had 2 interceptions and a fumble. And they all led to points. Iowa was winning 23-0 in half, and they tacked on a few more touchdowns there in the second half.
And the natives are restless in Madison.
Hard to believe I'm asking this, but does anyone want to play UCLA right now? Saturday, they were at Michigan State.
Berger, the man in the backfield. You've got 3 wide to the left. Keeper. Oh, it's a direct snap to Berger. He's going to dance into the end zone. Touchdown, UCLA. What a play call. Number 0, Agent 0, Jalen Berger to the house, 15 yards in his former home stadium.
Josh Lewin, UCLA Radio. Bruins roll Sparty 38-13.
And as Josh said, that was the key point. Jalen Berger used to be a Michigan State Spartan. And what hurt Michigan State, too, Aiden Giles, their quarterback, went out of that game with an injury. But and Nico Iamaleava is playing the way that Tennessee had hoped he would play.
UCLA rushed for 238 yards on the road. That's incredible. You know, that they were able to run that much. They used a lot of, you heard Berger, you know, he got a lot of carries. Thomas got a few. Jerry Newhouse has done a good job of turning around that offense, and Skipper, the head coach, has kind of got them rolling in the right direction right now.
Late Saturday, Minnesota hosted Purdue.
Maccabee next to Brown, and Brown wants to throw it. It's intercepted. Parrish down the sideline to the 10, 5, touchdown! Minnesota Golden Gophers!
Mike Grimm on Learfield. Gophers come from behind to get the W over Purdue, 27-20.
And as much as it was a big thing for Minnesota, the quarterback played well, Parrish with that big play. Purdue hurt themselves with turnovers and penalties. That really kept them from having a shot at trying to get this game.
Good coaching job there by P.J. DeFleck to get them back after a 42-3 loss at Ohio State. They come back home and take care of Purdue. And, let's face it, Purdue's playing better. They're 2-4. It's not like they were last year, but they're not losing like they were last year. These games are a little bit closer.
Final stop, Seattle, where Washington hosted Rutgers.
Here's Williams on first down, takes a shot. Denzel Boston turns, catches, got it, touchdown. Denzel Boston rocks the baby and finds his second touchdown catch of the day. And just like that, it's a 2-score lead for the Dogs.
Tony Castricone on Learfield. Huskies with a nice win over Rutgers, 38-19.
I think it makes it that much more impressive what Ohio State's defense did to those weapons that Washington has out there, because they were able to, and a lot of it had to do with the pressure they got on Williams, the quarterback. But, this is a group, and you throw in the running back. That's a talented trio Washington's got.
Damon Williams had 538 yards that game, 402 passing, 136 running. Man, we knew he was good, but I didn't think he was a 500 type guy. Unbelievable job. I guess Rutgers didn't watch the tape of how to keep him caged in and breaking out like Ohio State had success doing against him. But he's an incredible athlete, and, after that performance, you start to hear his name mentioned for the Heisman.
Coming up this week, Washington will be at Michigan. Penn State travels to Iowa. USC non-conference game at Notre Dame. That has implications there. And, of course, Ohio State is at Wisconsin. Speaking of Ohio State, we are scheduled to be joined by head coach Ryan Day. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota's got more all-wheel drive choices than anybody. Now through November 3rd, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Corolla gas models. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a gas-powered 26 Corolla LE for $209 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. Ohio State 34-16 over Illinois on Saturday. Head to Wisconsin coming up this week. Joined for a few minutes now by Coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, you talked about it before and kind of alluded to it during your press conference today. I guess what the keys are to keeping your team focused and hungry going into facing a team that is, coming off a game like they'd probably like to forget in Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, every week, we expect to get everybody's best shot, and we know we're going to get that here with Wisconsin. And I think that's the challenge that we're all chasing, is the consistency to be able to do it week in and week out. And, if we're focused during the week, then it's going to translate to Saturday. And that's not flashy. It's not, exciting or any news breaking, coaching there, but it's what works. And just got off the field with a Tuesday practice. I thought the energy was good. The focus was good. Again, we get back in here. We watch the films. A lot of things we got to improve, but I really believe that, if you've shown you can do it once, you can do it again. And then a big part of being consistent is being focused and being able to stay concentrated over an extended period of time. And that's a big part of where we're at right now.
Coach, you guys have won 10 straight games. 6 of those games have been on the road. What are you guys doing on the road that is, kind of led to getting those victories?
Eating really good. Okay, we're gonna give Kayla Olson all the credit. She does a great job. Our operations people do a great job. It takes everybody. It takes everybody with the travel. The bus drivers, the buses, the flights. Once we get there, making sure everything's organized so that there's no distractions, and that's important. And we've during that stretch that you're talking about, we've been on the West Coast, we've been in the South, we've been all over, and we try to make the players feel as comfortable as possible, like it's home. And the more things that we can keep routine, the better. But I also feel as if, when we get together on the road, it's an opportunity to bond and grow. The distractions are less when we're on the road. And it forces us, I think, to focus and concentrate more because we are on the road and we are in kind of enemy territory where, the crowds play a role. So I think all those things play into it.
You've talked about this a little bit, Coach, but with things like Jermaine Matthews moving spots because of the injury last week, with Josh Padilla, who's listed as a backup center playing guard, is the flexibility of different positions even that much more significant with a long season?
Yes. The number of snaps increases each week, and now with the number of games we play, we know that we need to play our depth throughout the season, and that some areas will be tested. A good example of that was when Lorenzo went down this past week. Jermaine was able to move inside, and then we were able to kick Devin into to corner, and we were able to kind of pick up where Lorenzo left off, and hopefully we'll get Lorenzo back this week. But having guys who can play multiple positions to create depth is important when you're limited on your roster and you can't just sign somebody off of waivers. That's what's different between college and the NFL. Yet we're still playing a whole bunch of games, and so all those things are part of the conversation when building a roster.
Coach, you had the big plays against Minnesota. Carnell had 340 plus. You go to play Illinois, they're a nickel 2/3 of the time. 64% of the time they're playing nickel against you guys. Is that kind of what you're expecting to see when you go play some of these teams? Is they're just going to be a nickel? They're going to try to keep everything in front of them?
Well, that's been part of some teams' plans, and we're never too sure what to expect, but what we have to be able to do is adapt to what we're seeing. And Jim, you're exactly right. When people do decide that they're going to play smaller groupings and put a shell on it, we have to be able to get physical, get downhill, and run the football, or else they're going to stay in it. So we have to force them out of those situations, or be disciplined enough and not let egos get in the way. But at the same time, there's also ways to push the ball down the field and get the ball to our playmakers' hands. So all things that we discuss and work on and continue to try to build.
Not to be the guy that asked about a no-hitter in the 7th inning, but is the message about ball security coming through loud and clear to your guys on offense, Coach?
Well, I hope so, because it's a huge part of what we do. And the ball's on the ground, the whole program is at risk. And we all take this extremely, extremely serious. And we have nothing if we don't take care of the football. And everyone who touches the ball, their number one job is to take care of the ball, because we say the hopes and dreams of Buckeye Nation, are in your hands when you carry the football. And it's something that is very, very serious. And we know what the numbers are when it comes to turnovers and winning the turnover battle. It's something that we really focus a lot on, especially on Tuesdays, but it's every day of our life. And we know how important that is. And the guys in the program understand it as well. But, it's something you got to do every day. And the minute you stop focusing on it, it'll cost you a game. And that's something that can't happen.
Coach, you had 2 penalties on your punt team. What led to those 2 penalties? Were you trying to get the personnel right, or were you just like, hey, we need a little bit more room here?
Yeah, no. On the first one, they gave us a look that kind of caught us off guard. And we always say to the personal protector, if you're not 100% sure, do not snap the ball, because we'll take a 5-yard penalty. What we can't have is a block punt. That's a disaster. 5-yard penalties, not acceptable, but a block punt will cost you a game. So as much as that was not what we wanted, we'll live with it and try to get it coached better. The second one, we should have been able to handle better. I think it was just a lack of awareness of the play clock, and so we got to coach it better.
What about Max Clare makes him the weapon that he has shown, especially in this game last Saturday, that he can be, Coach? Yeah, well, he's like a big skill player, which means, he can play like a receiver, but he's a bigger body. Great ball skills. You can see some of the catches he made, especially on the seam route, but he also can block in the core. And so that creates some matchup issues. Like Jim was saying, if they put, 5 DBs in the game, when he's in there as the second tight end, now there's an advantage running the football. If they put bigger people in the game, now there's an advantage throwing the football. So all those things allow us to, attack the defense based on what they're giving us when you have guys like Max who can do multiple things.
Coach, offensively, quarterback doesn't block, so sometimes you got to leave a guy unblocked. And we used to say the end man on the line of scrimmage. If you're running right, the guy all the way to the left, we'll just let him go. But you can't if that's Arvell Reese. When I was playing in the NFL, you couldn't do that with Lawrence Taylor because they could run things down from the backside. Arvell Reese shows that he has that speed to run things down from the backside.
Playing his best football, playing fast. You can see his power when he comes off the edge. You can see his speed and quickness like you're talking about. And I think he's diagnosing things really well and playing fast. One thing to be fast, another thing to play fast and play violent and running through contact. You're seeing all those right now with Arvell. And he's a great teammate. And, the guys, really respect who he is because of what he does on a daily basis, not just on the field, but off the field.
Are we seeing Tywan Malone, the defensive tackle, playing his best football also?
I think so. We need him. He's certainly not there yet. He knows that. He's got to keep pushing. But when we're getting play like we did last Saturday from him, then running down screens and being productive and grading out a champion, that's going to go a long way for our defense.
Coach Ryan Day, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you for your radio show on Thursday, okay?
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. And you mentioned Reese, and you put him in the same company as Lawrence Taylor, right? That's pretty.
Wow.
That's pretty right there.
No, he's
playing great though.
He is doing it all. I mean, he's got strength, he's got power, he's got speed. All the 3 things you don't want in a defensive player if you're going against him, right? He's got all 3, so he checks all the boxes.
All right. Up next, we will hit the red zone. Longtime Ohio State beat reporter Tim May will join tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show.
More of the Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King. Coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Joined inside the Red Zone, longtime Ohio State reporter Tim May joins us right now. And Tim, we'll get into Ohio State in just a moment, but you've been doing this for so long. Just your thoughts on Penn State and how quickly things went south, and then the decision that was made in regards to James Franklin.
We're in a new era. Yeah. When the old era meets the new era,
maybe
sometimes stuff happens, and basically, James Franklin, when they lost that third straight game, they're now out of the running for the college football playoff, and those are two real embarrassing wins after a ridiculous game in the whiteout game, which you thought, man, boy, they're going to play this down to the wire at the end of November. But oh my goodness! And y'all all know this. I mean, embarrassment carries a lot of weight in major college sports, especially at that level. I'm still surprised they didn't wait till the end of the year to pull a trigger on something like this. But what they did was they got in line. They kind of elbowed their way to the front of the line, you would think, based on jobs that are open right now. But it's too bad because I think James Franklin is a really good football coach. But, finally, if you don't get it done, you don't get it done, right?
Does the season-ending injury to Drew Aller figure into that in your thoughts, Tim?
Well, obviously it didn't happen until near the end of that game, right, last week and stuff. And number two, I hope a guy getting hurt doesn't get a guy fired. That would be awful. But what it figures into is Terry Smith, who's your quarterback now. The new head coach and the interim head coach. But obviously the Ohio State and Penn State game is taking on a different specter than you would have thought just 3 weeks ago. And it just shows you, man, in this day and age, how quickly things can change.
You look at it, Coach Ferentz, 27 years. I think P.J. Fleck is next with 12, and then would Ryan Day be the third guy as far as the
Might
most?
Might be with 7.
Yeah, that's wow.
That's crazy when you think about it.
Turnover.
I mean, it's like, it's crazy when you think about it. But Ryan Day, now he's got that national championship under his belt, right? I mean, you remember November or December the 1st last year.
Oh, yeah.
The discussions that were going on, and it's just crazy how quickly things can change. But now you think Ryan Day, unless he just kind of got fat and happy and sat in his leisure chair and watched football or cartoons instead of coaching, and I know he's never going to do that. I mean, he could be here. He could be here in double figures. That's for sure if he indeed wants to be. But I mean, it's a different age compared to when I grew up with, Woody Hayes and Bear Bryant and Darrell Royal and all those big names that were at schools forever. But we'll see where it goes. I mean, everybody says, okay, money, James Franklin's okay money-wise, but, I agree with this idea that Dabo Swinney said, you don't get into coaching initially, at least, for the cash. Although I don't know, that you look at it now, as a growth industry, maybe you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks a lot different than it did when Urban Meyer was making about $1,400 a year as a GA at Ohio State way back in whenever that was, 86, 87. So, but it's an interesting time. But here's the thing: you hear all these schools talking about trying to get money, begging for money, blah blah blah. You're hearing about this possible private equity infusion of big time cash, and man. $50 million is a lot to come up with in this day and age for anybody.
In trying to put value on Ohio State's win Saturday, how good is this Illinois team? To play dry off of Skip's question, how good is this Illinois team?
Well, evidently, listening to Brett Bielema, they just beat themselves. And they should have gone to hurry up earlier. And I'm just going, well, you're the head coach. Why didn't you say, hey, let's go to hurry up, And you know what I'm saying? I think the Illinois team is pretty darn good, to be honest with you. I like Altmaier a lot. They don't have the same weapons at wide receiver as Ohio State does. And fellas, when you go and take 3 turnovers away from them, which is what they did, these weren't lucky bounces like Ohio State did defensively. This Ohio State defense is for real, and it proved it once again. And you can go places especially when you're traveling, which is 3 out of 4 games here, Ohio State will be traveling. You can go places and you got a defense playing like that.
You look at Luke Fickell. They were 2-0. Now they're 2-4. Lost 4 straight, and the schedule's not easy. He's got a tough road to go here. Will he be the coach at Wisconsin next year?
That's a good question, Jim, because he got the re-up right in the off season, and the vote of confidence was more a vote of confidence. It was an extended contract, and. But, James Franklin sitting right there. We just saw Penn State come up with the money somehow, some way, and all these other schools that are doing it now. I know one thing. If I was a transfer quarterback, I wouldn't go to Wisconsin because I'm probably going to get hurt. I mean, God, it's crazy.
Right.
The bad luck he's had at the quarterback position, most vital. But I'm telling you, when you lose 37-0 in front of the home folks, and now you got Ohio State coming in, That's tough. It's definitely going to have to. I'm going to defer, but I would think he needs to show something in the next several games. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know how he will.
Tim May, we always appreciate your time and your insight. We'll see you up there in Madison on Saturday, okay?
By the way, yeah, I just got hit in the head with a soccer ball just before we came on the air. Some kid hit a line drive as I was reaching for my phone. That's why we had phone trouble there.
No forecall, huh?
Yeah, there you go, baby. I'm going into the tent, Jim.
They won't mistake him for Pele. There's no doubt about that. Coming up, hour number 2 of tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, we'll talk some high school football, our Encova Insurance, Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, our American Dairy Association Mideast's top high school performances, and a great whip around the state this evening. We'll hit the sidelines. Tyler Danberg with Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin. Our Insider's Access tonight, former Buckeye, speaking of Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, a former Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, Justin Zwick will join us tonight as Buckeye Roundtable continues here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
James Peoples here, running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the best-selling Toyota Camry. Now through November 3rd, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Camrys. Or lease a new 26 Camry LE for $279 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Always and forever your Ohio State flagship station.
WBNS-FM HD1 Columbus.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the Shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Good evening, I'm Tyler Danberg. Top-ranked Ohio State visits Wisconsin Saturday at 3:30. More Buckeye Roundtable is up next on The Fan. Former Buckeye All-American and 7-time Pro Bowl center Nick Mangold announced today he's in need of a kidney donor. If you are interested in donating, go to columbiasurgery.org/kidney-transplant and click I want to donate my kidney. NHL, the 1 and 2 Blue Jackets are off tonight and Wednesday before hosting the Avalanche Thursday at 7. Goaltender Jack Greaves on his performance so far.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think the biggest thing for me is just trying to take it day to day. I think that's something I always focus on and speak about, is just taking things one day at a time. So I'm, enjoying the experience. It's been, fun to play these games, and just I think it's just important to keep improving and keep taking steps.
Game 2 of the NLCS tonight. Dodgers are at the Brewers at 8:08. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. Saturday, Ohio State is at Wisconsin. 3:30 kickoff. Will be on the air from Madison beginning at 2 p.m. More on that coming up, but right now it is time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient is senior quarterback Luke Thaler from Lebanon High School in Southwest Ohio, down in Warren County. Friday night, Thaler threw for 505 yards with 5 passing touchdowns in Lebanon's wild 41-38 double overtime win over Turpin. The Warriors are coached by Micah Thaler. They're 6-2, currently sitting in 7th place in Division I Region 2. They'll play at Walnut Hills on Friday night. Again, congratulations to Luke Thaler from Lebanon High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
505, 5 passing touchdowns, not bad, but there were some other big performances from around the state.
Olentangy Liberty wideout Ben Godwin had 7 receptions for 81 yards and 3 touchdowns in Liberty's 21-13 win at Hilliard Bradley.
Woodmore running back Landon Rich, 35 carries, 465 yards, and 7 touchdowns in Woodmore's 61-34 win at Northwood.
Hawken linebacker Miles Hamilton had 2 interceptions, 6 solo tackles, a TFL, and a sack in Hawkins' 49-7 win over Orange.
Hamilton running back Andre Bailey rushed for 123 yards and had a game-winning touchdown in the final minute as Hamilton beat Fairfield 14-7.
Union local running back Brody Pernowski ran for 171 yards and a touchdown and added 51 receiving yards as Union local defeated Buckeye local 42-0.
Worthington Kilbourne quarterback Jackson Sabo threw for 269 yards and 5 touchdowns and added another 55 yards on the ground as Kilbourne beat Kip Columbus 41-6.
Strongsville wide receiver Alex Espe had 11 catches for 181 yards and a pair of touchdowns and added a 91-yard kickoff return for another score as Strongsville beat Lorraine 43-14.
St. Xavier quarterback Jackson Fry, 14 for 17 passing, 228 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading St. X past LaSalle in the Battle of North Bend Road 28-7.
Hey, this guy I'm going to mention next is having a good year because we've had him on this several times. Olentangy Orange running back Lucas Fickle had 20 carries for 195 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nolam-Tangi Orange's 28-14 win at Upper Arlington.
Revere running back and linebacker, well, whoever he is, he had 26 carries for 155 yards.
I'll get his name.
And 3 touchdowns and added 8 tackles and a pick 6 on defense, leading Revere past Barberton 38-21. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that before and ask you, Skip.
I'm sorry.
Ghost.
I'll get it next segment for you.
London running back Bryston Toronto ran for 82 yards and 3 touchdowns as London handed Jonathan Alder their first loss of the season. There's a big one, 38-0.
Harrison safety Ben Marcaron had 4 tackles and a game-sealing interception as Harrison handed Talawanda their first loss of the season, 14-0.
All right, we'll begin our weekly whip around the state with a performer scoring in multiple ways. Here's WJER's Bill Hammerstrom.
In a battle for control of the IVC North, Newcomers Town's Dom Singer led the Trojans to a 40-12 win over Malvern. Singer rushed for 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 two-point conversions. He also had an interception on defense. Newcomers Town is unbeaten in conference play, but travels to 6-2 Strasburg this Friday, where the Tigers will try to steal a share of the IVC title. For WJER in Dover, I'm Bill Hammerstrom.
Big quarterback play in Northeast Ohio. Here's WKNR's Kevin Arnold.
The Wadsworth Grizzlies got off to a fast start this season, and they have yet to look back. They are now 8-0 with Stowe Monroe Falls ahead on the schedule. This great season is thanks in large part to their sophomore quarterback, Bryson Hall. In a dominant 62-21 win over Nordonia this past Friday, Hall went 13 of 19 with 317 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Hall is leading an offense that is averaging 46 points per game and outscoring opponents by 36 points per game. For WKNR in Cleveland, I am Kevin Arnold.
To Northwest Ohio, a couple of big nights there as we welcome in WNDH's Dave Kleck.
Thanks, Skip. Friday night was another huge game for Defiance Bulldog running back Kelton Gibbs. 32 carries, 266 yards, 5 touchdowns in Defiance's win over Elida. And William Zeta came through big for Fairview, throwing for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Apaches knock off Edgerton 54-19 to go to 7-1. And Liberty Center breaks the consecutive win record in the NWOAL, 31 in a row with a victory over Delta. From WNDH in Napoleon, I'm Dave Kleck.
Down to Van Wert County next. Some big numbers as we say hello to WERT's Scott Truxell.
It's been a record-setting 2 weeks for the Van Wert Cougars. In Week 7, sophomore quarterback Zach Crummey connected on 28 of 40 passes for a school record 461 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. 18 of those passes went to wide receiver Micah Cowan for 330 yards, both school records, and a touchdown. Last Friday, Griffin McCracken set a school record with a 51-yard field goal just before halftime. Van Wert won the game 38-20 over Ottawa Glandorf. From WERT in Van Wert, I'm Scott Truxell.
We had a wild finish in Logan County Friday as we hear from WPKO's Chad Wilkinson.
We had quite a finish in the annual backyard brawl between Benjamin Logan and Indian Lake. Leading 14-10 with 2:18 remaining, Benjamin Logan had Indian Lake pinned back 4th and 24 from their own 42. Quarterback Brady Galladay rolled out of the pocket and found Colin Bindler for a 25-yard gain to convert. 5 plays later, the Lakers marched in for the game-winning score with 51 seconds to go, winning 17-14. Galladay finished 20 of 34 for 206 yards, while Noah Shirk had 2 rushing touchdowns for the Lakers. Indian Lake is now 6-2 and will take on 7-1 Graham in a showdown in the CBC Mad River this Friday night. From 98.3 WPKO in Bell Fountain, I'm Chad Wilkinson.
Huge night on the ground in Greene County. Here's WING's Justin Kinner.
The Xenia Buccaneers knocked off Fairborn this past Friday night 54-20. The game obviously wasn't close, but it was definitely a game that had everyone talking due to a monster night on the ground from Bucks running back Deontay White, who rushed for 346 yards and 5 touchdowns. The senior running back leads the Miami Valley League in rushing and has 500 more yards than the running back with the second most yards in the conference. For ESPN 1410 Wing AM, I'm Justin Kinner in Dayton.
Opposite side of the state to Washington County and a huge all-around game. Here's WMOA's Andy Rex.
Guys, Warren High School senior Tanner Pepper had a senior night to remember in a 35-24 win over Point Pleasant. He caught 6 balls for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns, ran the ball for 116 yards and another score, had 13 tackles on defense, and recovered a fumble. Pepper's second touchdown catch tied the school record for career touchdown touchdown receptions, and he's within striking distance of the all-time records for catches and receiving yards. Warren is back in action on Friday night when they travel to Fort Fry. From WMOA in Marietta, I'm Andy Rex.
When Point Pleasant came to town, there was no Mothman sightings, I hope.
Hopefully not.
Brought them with them. More unbelievable numbers to Muskingum County. Here's WHIZ's David Kinder.
Bishop Rosecrans quarterback Hayden Purdue had one of the best passing nights ever Friday versus Miller. With under a minute to play, the Bishops were down 7 at their own 9-yard line. That's when Purdue threw a 91-yard touchdown pass to Brody Zimba to get the Bishops within 1. On the 2-point try, Purdue's pass to Nick Bernath was good to give Rosecrans a stunning 45-44 victory. If that wasn't enough, take a listen to Hayden Purdue's final stat line. 29 of 51 for 559 yards passing and 6 touchdowns through the air. The 4-4 Bishops will host 2-6 Millersport coming up this week. Reporting for WHIZ Radio in Zanesville, I'm David Kinder.
All right, David, final stop, Knox County. Some big numbers there from WMBO's Tyler Mathias.
Fredericktown Freddy senior running back Kirk Parker had 4 touchdown runs in a Friday 28-19 road win against East Knox. He had touchdown runs of 15, 3, and 17 yards. The Freddies will take on Danville at home on Friday. Meanwhile, Mount Vernon quarterback Mason Richards rushed for a score and threw for 104 yards and 3 touchdowns in Mount Vernon's 42-13 win against Licking Heights, while Landon Dawson had a 28-yard rushing touchdown, 11-yard touchdown catch, and a 13-yard touchdown catch with 105 all-purpose yards in the win. Mount Vernon will play at unbeaten Licking Valley for the top spot in the LCL Buckeye this Friday night. Reporting from WQIO and WMBO out of Mount Vernon, I'm Tyler Mathias.
Outstanding whip around the state. The young man's name from Revere.
James Perry.
James Perry, who
Yes.
had a huge night on the ground and both defensively as well.
Yes.
So apologies to Mr. Perry. Home teams.
Bobcats won and the St. Henry Redskins won 41-0.
They are rolling.
Yeah, and they don't play Coldwater, so they got New Bremen, which is going to be a tough one at home this weekend.
So St.
Week
Henry,
9 already.
I know.
St. Henry and Grandview both won, huh?
Yep.
So did Moeller. They beat St. Ignatius.
All right.
Unlike Hartley did not. They fell to Watterson big. They get to bounce back this week against Kip Columbus. Our top performances from around the state, just like everybody else get pounded by Watterson, was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein with the power to fuel everyone, including Ohio State quarterback Tavian St. Clair. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built-like-a-Buckeye. We'll discuss what happened this past week in the top 25 after further review as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Around here, it's all or nothing, and nobody has more all-wheel drive choices than Toyota. Now through November 3rd, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4, or 5.75 on RAV4 Hybrid, excludes plug-ins, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $309 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing, with approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details, or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington Bank, airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play. Under further review.
After further review.
Play 3rd and 8. Chambliss wants to throw in the pocket near side. Got his man. Caden Lee at the 20 to the 15 to the 10. Sidesteps the man. Made him pick up his britches. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
David Kellum on Learfield. Ole Miss survives Washington State 24-21 to remain unbeaten.
Now get this. Trinidad Chambliss was playing at Ferris State in Michigan last year. Mm-hmm. One of the assistants at Ole Miss saw some film recruiting him. Got Lane Kiffin and the others to watch. They got the kid on a plane to Oxford, Mississippi that night. He was supposed to be at Temple on a recruiting visit the following day. Say what you want about Lane Kiffin, but what a recruiting job he did to get that kid to come there and play.
Yeah, after that game against Washington State where they're heavy favorites and, won it by 3, Lane Kiffin said, I think, we're number 4 team in the country, but the way we played today, we're number 84, So he goes, maybe that'll help us down the road, but it didn't help us today, so he's got to keep those guys focused because they got a tough one this week.
Staying in the SEC, could Texas A&M also remain unbeaten as they hosted Florida?
It's Le'Veon right up the middle. Le'Veon along the hashes. Le'Veon inside the 10. Le'Veon touchdown, Aggies from 22 yards.
Andrew Monaco on Learfield. A&M over the Gators 34-17.
And Marcel Reed has really solidified things there at quarterback. But this is a program under Mike Elko now for a couple of years that has put themselves in a position to where most people think they have the biggest upside in the SEC.
Yeah, I think Mike Elko's done a fabulous job there at Texas A&M, and I doubt if he'll ever leave there. But if there's some big jobs open, which we know there are, I'm sure he's going to draw some interest.
Will they pay another buyout again, though?
Yeah.
To Columbia, Missouri was also looking to remain unbeaten as they hosted Alabama.
Empty set. Simpson gets the ball, dumps it off. Hill caught. Touchdown. Sophomore from Meridian. What a time to get his first touchdown of the season, and Bama goes up 9.
Chris Stewart on Learfield. Bama hands Mizzou their first loss. Good game, though, 27-24.
Alabama's now kind of in that spot when the BCS used to be around where people talked about if you're going to lose a game, lose it early. That's a good thing. And look at what they've done since they had it early loss. And Ty Simpson has really played well at quarterback.
Yeah, Prabula, the quarterback from Missouri, not so good. He had 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions in that game. He also rushed for TD, will end up being their leading rusher. That guy's got to be sore after the game.
To the Red River rivalry in the Cotton Bowl between Oklahoma and Texas.
A good punt. Niblett settles under at the Texas 25, turns upfield to the 30, to the 40. Ryan Niblett to midfield. Niblett down the sidelines to the 40, to the 30. Say goodnight to this one. Ryan Niblett, a 75-yard punt return for a Longhorn touchdown.
Craig Way on Learfield. Texas gives Oklahoma their first loss, 23-6.
And Arch Manning playing the way most people thought that he could play. Apparently, their offensive line played a lot better. But a lot of people who kind of watch this game, if you listen to some of the national radio shows, talked about, the big question was John Mateer at Oklahoma. Would he play? He did, but it was very apparent his lack of practice affected his play.
3 interceptions was very apparent in that game for John Mateer. But, I thought Arch Manning came and played well. I was a little surprised about that. I thought Oklahoma would hang in there a little bit further and maybe even win that game. But, Arch was 21 of 27, 166 yards at a TD. So 1 to all Arch, but he didn't do anything to hurt him.
To the ACC, Georgia Tech still unbeaten. Could they stay that way against Virginia Tech?
King shrugs off a tackle, turns the corner 20, cuts inside 15, hurdles over a man 5, into the end zone, touchdown, all hail the King.
Andy Demetra, Georgia Tech Radio. Yellow Jackets win 35-20. They're 6-0, Paul.
They are, and it's not just Haynes King. Malachi Hosley with a big game there, and this is a team that continues to kind of lie below the weeds. Would they be one of those that could, it's not just because they're undefeated, but because of the way everything else could play by the time the season over, could they be one of those in the playoff field?
Yeah, they're a very balanced team. They rushed for 268. That was great. Threw for 213, Georgia Tech. They got some things figured out right now. Virginia Tech, they fired a coach. It didn't seem to help.
To Tallahassee, where Florida State hosted Pitt.
Hands it off to Turner. Into the end zone, untouched for the Panther touchdown.
Bill Hillgrove, Pitt Network, kind of a surprise. Pitt beats FSU 34-31.
How good were things for Florida State early in the season when it seemed as though they had turned some things around? But, Pitt went to a young quarterback a few weeks ago, and it seemed to really have helped Pat Narduzzi's team play well.
Yeah, they did. That was a good win for them, for the Pitt Panthers, and they seem to got some things figured out.
Final stop is the Big 12. Iowa State looking to bounce back from their first losses. They headed to Colorado.
Salter out of the shotgun, takes a snap, drops, scans, looks towards the end zone, all kinds of time, whips it back corner, and the catch is made! Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! Back left corner of the end zone! Joseph Williams, he's no ordinary Joe!
Neither is Mark Johnson on Learfield. Buffaloes, they beat Iowa State 24-17.
My, how the Cyclones have fallen ever since they got that victory in Dublin, Ireland early in the year. And who can figure out what's going on in the Big 12 right now?
Nobody.
I mean, look at what Cincinnati's doing.
They're unbeaten in conference.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought Iowa State would take care of Colorado, especially with Rocco Beck. Their quarterback was playing. Some people had him in the Heisman conversations. After these 2 losses, it's going to be tough for him.
This week in the top 25, we mentioned Notre Dame, USC earlier, LSU, Vanderbilt. You have Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Utah, BYU. Don't forget that one as well.
The Holy War.
So
that's nice that they're still playing that.
There's a lot on the line for a lot of these teams. I know we're only 6-7 weeks in, but still, you could almost make the argument. Maybe a little early to say elimination game, but if it's not, it's getting close to that.
Well, a lot of it has to do with, we know how this talk all goes about what conference is stronger than the other. And maybe the Big 12 people thought was going to be strong at certain points, but now because of its equality, it's kind of hurting them a little bit. The ACC with Georgia Tech, maybe there's a better showing from somebody there than what was thought before the season started.
In Utah staff, I think there's 8 former BYU coaches on that staff. So that's kind of like
the head coach.
Including the head coach, you're right. So it's kind of like, wow, there's a lot of familiarity with those 2 programs.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, exactly.
Capulets of the Montagues. Up next, we will hit the sidelines with Tyler Danberg as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Donato's Pep Duo Pizza is back, and it brought a pal. The Donato's Pep Duo, loaded with crispy pepperoni and 3 kinds of cheese. Now get a large Pep Duo pizza for just $14.99. Also back, Donato's deliciously dippable pepperoni cheese bread. Now on the $5 Pizza Pals menu for a limited time. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's, gotta love more.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day concert series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board, book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And Jim, we talked about this earlier, secondary. Guys really moving around, help create a big turnover. You know, lots of turnovers Saturday afternoon at Illinois.
Yeah, I think that was one of Jermaine Matthews' best games. Just like you said, he was just consistent. When he got to play that nickelback position, got him in the box a little bit more and showing how effective he could be. Also came up with a strip sack, got a sack, forced a fumble. We recovered that with Caden Curry. Devin Sanchez also getting some playing time because of that at cornerback. I thought he, held his own and is a guy that's got a bright future. Davidson Igmanosin, what can you say about Davidson? He's going to give you some great plays, and then you might get a penalty, but for the most part, he's going to have guys covered up, and he did. He's been fantastic. I think he's got, 40? This will be his 45th start as a cornerback, so he's got a lot of time back there. Caleb Downs all over the field making plays. And same with Jalen McLean. We got a strong secondary right now, and I'm happy the way those guys are playing.
Our report was brought to you by Elk and Elk Injury Lawyers, dedicated to every client, every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin, 19 for 27, 166 yards and a couple of touchdowns Saturday. After the game, Sayin with our Tyler Danberg.
What sticks out about the win today for you and the group?
Yeah, I think, just overall as an offense, we did some good things and some things, we want to clean up. And, I think the defense played really well. They created turnovers, and that's huge in games like this to be able to give us a short field and stuff like that. And I think we executed at a good level, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement. We're still growing as an offense, but happy with the way the guys executed, and we played hard.
That 4th and 1 in the red zone, that 4th down conversion, a lot of movement. When you look back at your communication and the team's operation as an offense, like how proud are you of that whole conversion?
The first touchdown? Yeah, it was awesome to see. It takes all 11 guys. It really does. So I think, for them to, we had to shift and, to punch it in there on 4th and 1, it's a huge play in the game. And, running backs ran hard, and it takes all 11. So I think, the guys up front did a really good job.
Coach Dave this week talked about how they want quarterbacks to tell a story when you're relaying the play calls. How would you rate your storytelling abilities?
Yeah, I think, the coaches do a good job of, giving it to me twice so I can, hear it and then be able to call it. And I think it's all about, telling the guys and, first of all, you got to see what you got on the play clock to, see what's going on. But, telling the guys what they need to hear. So, you tell the offensive line what they need to hear, tell the receivers what they need to hear. So I think, overall good, but we're still growing.
Week 6, what feels different compared to week 1 for you?
Yeah, I think just, we're much closer as a team. We've gotten a lot closer these past 6 weeks, especially when you go on the road. It definitely is important, and I think we're growing in a lot of areas, and I think you'll see us to continue to grow.
He mentioned continue to grow. What areas would you like to see Julian Sand continue to grow?
It would be nice, and Jim talked about it earlier. What could be there as far as the running game? We saw Will Howard last year, not like a Braxton Miller or a J.T. Barrett, but be able to give them positive run plays more than just a few yards behind the line that made defenses have to be concerned about it. Don't know if yet that's there with Julian saying, could that be something that could equate to other further plays down the field? Isn't it amazing how these quarterbacks seem to sound like their head coaches after a while?
He does. He sounds very, very good. And, Tyler did a good job interviewing there. But, yeah, to see quarterback runs, you like to see man coverage, right? So everybody has their backs to him. If we get man coverage, we're throwing it to Jeremiah Smith because he beats everybody in man coverage. But you just don't see a whole lot of man coverage. You're seeing a lot of too deep and, rushing 4. A lot of, Illinois, I think, blitzed us maybe 10% of the time last week. So they didn't really, they kind of want to keep everybody in the pocket, keep Julian in the pocket, and then try to throw the ball down the field. And he's been very effective. I think he's on a great growth path. I think just continue to get better at all the little things, which he seems to be doing each and every week. And, he's getting coached up by one of the best quarterback coaches, in the country. Of course, I'm thinking of Ryan David, Billy Fessler, too. The quarterback coach has done a great job with him.
Coming up next, our Buckeye Roundtable Insiders Report. You hear him on our postgame show each Saturday. Former Buckeye quarterback Justin Zwick is tonight's Buckeye Roundtable. Show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
True North convenience stores are your coffee and fountain champions. Fuel up your game day with True Rewards. Buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks and get your 7th free. Whether you're heading to a game or watching from home, grab a True Brew coffee or an ice-cold True Oasis fountain drink to keep you going all 4 quarters. Find True Rewards in your app store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Around here, it's all or nothing, and Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anybody, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through November 3rd, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.75 APR financing, or you can get 5.75 APR financing on hybrid models with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Saturday, Ohio State limited Illinois to 3 of 3 scoring on trips inside the 20. This defensive summary is brought to you by Anduril, whose mission is to transform U.S. military capabilities through advanced technology. Anduril, an official sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now by former OSU quarterback making his first Buckeye Roundtable appearance since the fall of 2001 when he was our weekly Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Player of the Week award winner, Justin Zwick. Justin, welcome. We were talking last segment about Julian Sayin. As a former quarterback, what are you most impressed with about him so far? And I guess what areas will he continue to improve on?
Wow. Aging me there, Skip. 2001, that's a long time.
Aging you.
Yeah. Fair. No, but I think Julian he's been amazing. I think his accuracy is one thing that kind of jumps off the screen at me. When he knows where the ball is supposed to go, he puts the ball in a very easy catchable position for the receivers. And, it's just time after time. He has a clean pocket a lot of times. The offensive line has done a great job for him, which helps a young quarterback like that out. But, he just is seeing the defense so clearly, understanding what Ryan is wanting, what Brian and Ryan are wanting, from each play call. And, he's just calm, cool, and collected back there. The sky's the limit for him, coming in as a redshirt freshman and completing, near 80% of your passes and, just really controlling the offense. He could leave here, rewriting the record books, I think.
Justin, when you look at these receivers and, we didn't see a whole lot of man coverage last week, and I don't know if he will against Wisconsin, but when they do see man, do you think he's thinking of reading the route out or just finding number 4, Jeremiah Smith, and let him make a play?
Well, he's smart. He'll go just and throw it to number 4 because, they always talk about 50-50 balls with your big-time receivers, and I think with Jeremiah and Carnell, they're 70-30 balls when you go up to those guys. They're going to make a play for you. But, it's the man, I think early on in the season, he was starting to see things and all right, well, they're going to double Jeremiah. And it looks like that right now. So he would get the snap and he'd go to the other side of the field. And I think he's starting to kind of realize, all right, they're going to mess with me sometimes and they're going to give me a look. I got to make sure if there's a chance of it being man, I got to at least take a peek out at Jeremiah or Carnell, depending on, what that safety does if he comes down in the box. I think early on defenses were kind of getting to him a little bit or, messing with him. And, when you do get that man, and you got to take a shot because these guys are so athletic and they're so good downfield, just going and getting the ball. It is really it's really nice to have, as a quarterback, to have those guys on the outside.
Justin, put yourself in a position of facing the Ohio State defense. And as a quarterback, when you see Caleb Downs all over the place, Sonny Styles all over the place, what kind of conflict does that cause?
That causes, I mean, just the freaks we have on the defense, they all cause problems. But, yes, I mean, what Matt Patricia has done in just moving these guys around, Caden Curry from end to right in the middle of the defensive line, Caleb Downs down on the, in the linebacker box, moving around, just not sure where anybody's going to be. I think, and we heard Bielema kind of talk about that last week of, I wish we would have went more tempo because, that doesn't allow us to do some of those things when we're just getting right back to the line of scrimmage. So I think that is something maybe teams will look at. But when you're a quarterback coming up and you see this All-American safety just in the middle of the box or, just roaming in the defense, and they have two other safeties over the top, they have these awesome cornerbacks on the outside, like, your head has to be in a blender, and then you're looking at where Arvell is, where Sonny is. I mean, it's just amazing, how these guys have come out and played this year. And Matt Patricia is just to be able to teach that in such a short time coming in last year with just spring ball, and we've heard how defenses can take a couple years to really get going here, and it doesn't seem like this is the case. Patricia has these guys flying around, playing fast, simplifying the game for them and kind of letting them play those games out there. And it's really hard for an offense to go against.
Now that we're halfway through the regular season, who do you think the best quarterbacks are in the Big Ten?
Oh, golly. Well, I don't think Julian gets enough love. I think he should be, and he's starting to now, I guess. But he's definitely up there. I really liked the kid from Washington. I thought he was, I think he's a heck of a player. Now he went up against a buzzsaw with that defense of ours, but he's somebody that can go out and, make those plays, and they were putting up tons of points. I've never been a huge fan of Drew Aller, and, I hope he's going to be okay, but, we'll see what they have coming from there. But and Julian's at the top for me. I don't think anybody up north or – I guess you got Indiana. Mendoza's pretty solid. I mean, that was a heck of a game going out to Eugene last week, and that offense they have there at Indiana is pretty nice too. So I think you go Julian, Mendoza, and the kid from Washington are probably my top three.
Justin, you were part of a team that won a national championship here at Ohio State. Talk about what it's like, not only being on a Buckeye team that's always going to get everybody's best shot, but how each and every week you've got to be prepared for the opponent's highest game and to function at the highest level yourself.
Yeah, it's everybody's Super Bowl, right? And going against the Ohio State Buckeyes, it's, the last 25 years, it's just been that way. And, we've over the years seen some of those going on the road where, we're a 25-point favorite and things don't work out. Because if you're not on your game, these teams, they're hungry and they want to come after you. And I think that's probably why you hear Ryan this year talk so much about win the game. Doesn't matter how it looks. Doesn't matter, what happens. Just win the game. Worry about us. And let's just go out and make sure every time we step in between the white lines, we are giving max effort. We're, playing fundamental football, and just we're taking care of business on our end because we know they're going to come in and try and do that. So we have to match that and be better.
Justin, you played at Orville, won a state championship, transferred to Massillon. What high school team do you follow closer?
Oh, God, I'd probably say a Massillon guy. Orville wasn't too nice to me when I got out of there back in the day.
Hey, you left after your freshman year, so they probably were mad.
Yeah, they weren't happy, so we had some success at Orville, but, the Massillon is kind of the one I continue to follow, and I try and make it up for at least, a game a year just to take the wife up there. She couldn't believe what high school football was like up that area.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, the show they put on, and it's the live tiger.
Oh, yeah.
They still have it.
I'm wearing an Obi Tiger shirt right now.
Justin, you brought up Drew Aller at Penn State. Just put your analyst cap on for a moment. Just your overall thoughts on Penn State and the ultimate decision, I guess, that they made with James Franklin over the weekend.
Yeah, I think just based on how the last 3 weeks have gone, which is crazy to think about. 3 weeks ago they were in a top 5 matchup in overtime and could have won that game, and now we're sitting here with him being fired. You just can't go out and lay eggs against UCLA, a team that hadn't led anybody all year long, and then you follow that up with homecoming at home when the nerds from Northwestern come in and take care of you. I mean, it's not a good look, right? And I've been in that boat, getting beat by Northwestern. It's not fun. They couldn't fire me, but it is what it is. It's a tough situation. I just don't know. They were all in this year. and, bringing Knowles over and just making sure that they had the roster that they were going with, I think maybe they just needed to look at their offensive coordinator a little bit different and say, like, are we doing everything we can to put these guys in the right positions? Because it just never felt like they got anything going with Drew Aller and, all the playmakers they have. So it's the nature of the game, and that's how it goes. But I don't know where they're going to find all that money to pay James and pay somebody else and pay their players. I mean, it's a lot of money going around nowadays.
Justin Zwick. Justin, we appreciate your time. We'll be listening for you on postgame, okay?
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, Justin Zwick joins us tonight on the Buckeye Roundtable Show. Again, Ohio State at Wisconsin coming up on Saturday. We'll break things up and wrap things up with some chalk talk as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable Show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable Show, presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Make sure you visit your local BK restaurant, speaking of Burger King, to grab your $10 O-Fry-O bundle. That includes a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, 8-piece chicken nuggets, and a custom OSU crown, all for just $10 at your local Burger King.
Buckeye Roundtable Chalk Talk.
Show has just flown by tonight. Buckeyes at Wisconsin on Saturday. Start with our delivery of the game. Who needs to deliver for Ohio State to get the W at Wisconsin?
How about the running game? Just to kind of massage the clock, really keep the ball away from Wisconsin's offense, wear their defense down, and, by the way, keep that crowd a little quiet, if it's even possible.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the running game too, but I'll also point out that our defense, the way our defense is playing, and when you travel, you better pack your defense. And we've tracked the last 2 games on the road. Our defense has been fantastic, especially you look at what they did against Washington, and then, they gave up 16 versus Illinois, the most points that they've given up all year, but still, they were dominant. That game was, they forced 3 turnovers in that game and really dominated from start to finish. So I think our defense has to continue on the track they're on. And, you look at it, Iowa shut them out, so that's got to be the goal.
I know they've struggled, but in what areas might Wisconsin cause Ohio State any problems?
Security around the stadium. As you were reading that, Skip, not that I wasn't paying attention to each and every word you were saying, I was thinking about 4 straight games now that Wisconsin has not even rushed for 100 yards.
Okay.
Yeah,
if all of a sudden that got healthy and they could do the reverse and, manipulate the clock, maybe that would be it. But it's hard to imagine with the way things have gone for them.
Yeah, in that running game, Dupree got hurt in that game.
He did.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's going to be good to go. Dylan Jones would be the other guy, the redshirt freshman.
Kahuna got hurt.
Yakamela, I think.
Yakamela,
Yeah, I think he's another guy that, showed some decent things. Hunter Simmons has been, just okay at quarterback. I'd say their best wide receivers, Vinny Anthony, number 8. Their offensive line has always been, a strong point for them. When you look at one side, I think they're good. The other side, you got some redshirt freshmen. They've had, I think, 6 games now. They've had 6 different offensive lines.
Thank you.
So, I mean, how do you get the continuity, right? If you're always got a guy banged up. I know Renfro, the Cincinnati Bearcat transfer, started last week. He missed the game before. We'll see if he goes against Ohio State.
You know what he did last week, Jim? Something you rarely ever see, Skip. He was called for an aiding the runner penalty.
Yeah, pushed him. Yeah.
No, pulled him.
Yeah, that's right.
You can push, but he pulled him. You hardly ever see that called.
All right. Saturday, Illinois did something in the red zone that no one was able to do previously against Ohio State, and that's punch it in. Now, from you guys' chair, what was Illinois able to successfully do in the red zone against Ohio State that previous teams were unable to do? And let's face it, other teams would probably copycat off some of that stuff.
Jim mentioned it earlier tonight. That play they ran, the quarterback handed it off to actually a wide receiver who then pitched it to the running back. So Altmaier handed it to Beatty, who then pitched it to Lawfrey. So I think that just one specific play was something that really created an advantage that Ohio State's defense has not had to face.
Yeah, and the right tackle got up on Peyton Pierce. Peyton Pierce would, if he could have, avoided that tackle, got off, he would have been there for the pitch guy, but because the right tackle did a good job sealing him inside, they were able to walk into the end zone. So, hey, good design, good play. Give them credit.
Paul mentioned the crowd noise. Different type of noise, though, is real right now in Madison. Badgers coming off a really bad loss. How do you think the team will respond this week?
Well, I don't know, Skip, to be honest with you. And, the crowd has been chanting Fire Fickle back to the Maryland game. They're used to a certain standard that has not happened. Somebody said Wisconsin has not been in this kind of situation since Don Morton was the head coach, before Barry Alvarez. It seems as though it's a crowd that's smelling blood. And, everybody wants to make a change when it doesn't affect their livelihood. But you got to think the first thing that goes wrong against the Badgers, and they're going to turn like they have.
2010, you missed that game, right?
I missed that one.
Yeah. Well, you were there.
I was there.
That was loud. That was loud.
I was listening in a hosptal room with a radio.
It was number 1 versus number 18, and we're going in there as number 1 again. So those fans they'll cheer. They're passionate about their Badgers, but at the end of the day, Ohio State's got to take the crowd out. Kind of what they did against Illinois. That was loud for about a quarter and a half, and then boom, Ohio State had 20 points on the scoreboard. They had 0, and you saw fans start to trickle out after halftime.
This is far from the 18th best team in the country that they're bringing out there on Saturday.
No, they're not. They're 118th maybe right now.
But there's no doubt as far as the atmosphere. I mean, the fan base there does not like Ohio State. We've seen it ourselves in many cases, sometimes personally. They don't like Ohio State.
Fraternity row. I mean, you see all the signs out there.
It is a great setting for people like to travel away games, especially a day game like this late afternoon. And that will be a great setting, and they'll be all jacked up.
Just don't wear,
don't wear your logo stuff.
Exactly.
I know. Some may say, guys, that if Iowa puts up 37 on Wisconsin, my goodness, what's Ohio State going to do? Is that a fair statement or no?
Yeah, it is fair.
Sure.
I mean, because, Iowa has been offensively challenged for about the last 6 or 7 years, and they found a way to, do it. Now, how'd they do it? Turnovers, right? They had short fields to work on. Their defensive tackle intercepted one and took it all the way down to the goal line. Looked like he was going to score, but he didn't.
Buckeyes in the NFL to get us out of here, Jim.
Well, how about Jonathan Cooper's day? He had 2 sacks going against the Jets and Justin Fields. That wasn't nice. Jonathan beating up a former Buckeye there. Jackson Smith and Jigba, NFL's leading receiver right now. He had 42 catches on the year. He had 8 for 162. This last game, he's been unbelievable. Now, some bad news. We had some Ohio State wide receivers got hurt. Marvin Harrison Jr. went back to Indianapolis. Didn't get to go there and play in a Big Ten championship game while I was here. We got to go back to Indianapolis, had a concussion. He didn't get to come back into the ball game. Zach Harrison did a nice job, tipped a pass to help Atlanta get the nice win in that game. Garrett Wilson hyperextended a knee. He was hurt. And Emeka Buka hurt a hamstring. He was hurt. So not all flowers and peachy things going on right now. You got to deal with some injuries with these Buckeye receivers.
Guys, great job tonight. We will see you in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin on Friday night.
Likewise, Skipper.
Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Colin Behringer, and for Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. As always, thank you for listening from Learfield. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.